Hello and welcome to Back to Basics with Sandra and Lyndall. I do want to give you a little bit of a disclaimer before today's episode. We are going to be talking about suicide, self-harm, and mental health. So if any of these subjects are a trigger for you, then maybe scroll on to the next episode. Hello and welcome to Back to Basics with Sandra and Lyndall. Today we have a very special guest, Caleb, multi-business owner, content creator, and entrepreneur. Welcome.
Thanks guys for having me on. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. So let's dive right in. So let's kind of take it back to the beginning, because I know you've had a lot of success lately, and we'll definitely get into that because we always want to hear about the motivational side of things. But let's start from the beginning. Tell us about, you growing up, life with your dad, and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I grew up with my dad when I was 2 years old. I was 5 is when I actually met my father, because I thought my stepdad was my father. Right. It's a long story. I don't really open up about what happened with my mum and stuff. But yeah, I grew up with my dad my whole life. And yeah, my dad's my best friend. Hey, love that guy. But I grew up in Marryong in Blacktown.
Yep.
And yeah, just always been filming my whole life since I was 6, and yeah, just started from there. Hey.
And how did you get into that creative side? Because I think it's, it's not common that a child or a teenager would necessarily pick up a camera.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because I was born in 2003, so when the cameras...
I feel so...
Sorry.
Wow.
Well, how old are you guys?
Let's just keep going with it.
No, so I was born I think 3 years later the iPads come out.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Okay.
So I used to film POV videos of Nerf gun wars and make movies and stuff with my family and my best mate. And yeah, literally just started like that. And then at the age of 16, I made the news for cliff jumping. It's Kiama Blowhole.
Wow.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Yeah. We made $1,000 each, and we're fuck, we can make money through this shit.
Yeah, wow.
So we just figured out how to use a camera. My mate Nathan at the time got me my first client, made $100 in an hour. I was holy shit, 16 years old, just left school. I was fuck, I'm on a high A.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And it kind of just transpired from there.
Yeah, so at the age of 16, I just cliff jumped because my dream was to play a rugby league player. And then I got a concussion. That's why I can't play anymore. But I just started getting used to a camera, and just it was my hobby at the time, and then found out you can make money. So yeah, just rolled with that, eh?
And did you feel like it was hard to start, making money online and making money through social media and content creation?
It was a weird journey for me because I worked full time. Well, when I left school, I found it hard at the start because I was 16 trying to make money as a freelancer, but no one took me serious because I was so young. And content wasn't really that big. I feel like it's really big now.
How did you display your talent? Because social media would have just been...
Yeah, I didn't have many followers, so I had 8,000 followers.
Yeah.
I got all my clients through football relationships and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty hard at the start. I didn't make any money the whole year. I quit Macca's. I was making more money at McDonald's.
Yeah, wow.
So after that, I got a full-time job at a clothing brand called YKTR. Worked with those guys for a year, and then after I left that job, my life's just been so good. I can't complain.
So how did you kind of put your work out there? Was it through YouTube or
Yeah, it was just Instagram. I never had a website. I'm not really good with technology. So I always used Instagram.
Yeah,
I get good if I learn it, but
yeah.
So I just use team behind you that help with a platform. Do you have a website now?
No.
No? Oh wow.
No,
get out.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
So what's it so you got a Aticophobia.
Yeah.
Is that a clothing brand or
I'm
still trying to figure out what
so Aticophobia is a phobia called it's a phobia that's fear of failure. So I'm starting a clothing brand in July. I'm gonna drop it after I release my documentary.
Yeah.
So it's perfect way to sell it.
Yeah.
So people get in touch with me, and then they understand what the clothing's about, because clothing's more about the feeling and stuff like that. So dropping that. Then I've got the Aticophobia podcast.
Yes.
Where we talk about mental health. Then got another podcast, the On One podcast, where we talk about men and women, drama, shit like that.
Okay, relationships.
Yeah, more relationships.
Yeah.
And then I've got CPC Creative, which is my videography company, and then Travelpreneur University.
Yep.
Which is my baby. Like I love that thing.
Oh wow! So we're gonna drop about 10 links.
Oh no, we don't have to go into.
So you spoke about your documentary. Can you kind of delve into that a little bit more? What's that about?
Yeah, so my doco is about how I beat suicide last year. So I've been like a suicidal kid my whole life, and last year was the last time I just switched my mindset after I tried committing suicide last year, and I just randomly filmed the whole thing. I don't know why. Those like suicide videos people make. It's like a goodbye video, and they have the signs, and they're like,
No, I've never
"This is
seen
the
that.
last." Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, I have.
It's like signs, and they're like, "Oh, this is my last video.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I saw that because I kept watching those to make me like more sad and stuff like that. It's like, fuck, I'm just gonna like film me, like just try to commit, and then just see how it goes. Like I wasn't gonna post it or anything. I post it now, which is weird, but.
So I've seen snippets of it, obviously. So you driving in the car, that's not a reenactment. That's actually your...
Oh, no,
that was happening.
I didn't know I had schizophrenia at that time.
Okay.
But I always heard like these voices and stuff. And that night, you'll see it in the doco, like I just filmed my whole like process of like what I did. And I just like set the camera up. It's so weird talking about it because like it's so weird to just grab a camera. But
Yeah.
I grew up with it. Like I'm so used to
Yeah,
just,
so that's your life.
yeah, like I've always filmed everything. Like I get messages all the time, like, why the fuck's this guy filming it? But I just placed the camera there and just started like just yelling so much shit. That's only a little part. Like I said so much other stuff.
Is that for you to look back on and kind of look at yourself, or like what was the purpose of doing that?
It sounds messed up, but it's for my dad.
Okay.
I just wanted to like, I said like a whole message of like how much I appreciate him and shit. And I just wanted to like show him like what I was going through. Because as a parent, like I feel like it's so hard to understand what a kid's going through.
And accept it at the same,
Yeah. But then I feel so bad for my dad. Like I wish I never did that to him. Because like from his perspective, it's like my son's like depressed, suicidal. Like I feel like the worst father, which he wasn't. So
and have you attempted since, or have you gotten help for that?
No, I haven't got help. I'm still struggling, to be honest. But I'm not suicidal, no, or depressed.
Okay.
But I purposely make myself sad, which is weird. But
yeah, no, tell us about that, because I think it's important that there are so many different ways that people cope or deal with what they're going through. And this is a new way. I've never heard of people actually making themselves sad to cope. Like, what does that mean for you?
I feel like I'm still young. That's why I haven't grown up yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm still 19, which is like...
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sorry. But
you keep dropping the age thing.
No, just like, because I don't know, like I might learn something else when I'm older.
Yeah,
like my perspective might be different. But like right now, it's like, I've said this before, but like sadness is my creativity. Where like when I'm sad, like I can make a video so emotional because I feel it myself. Because like I want to make myself sad making this.
Yeah.
So like I do a lot of things like self-sabotage myself.
Yeah.
And shit like that, but
and travel the world.
And I think like I think as well, like I have to say, I think age does play a part in it. Like I think, you know, I've gone through a whole mental health journey myself, but when I was a teenager, it was really difficult for me to overcome that and to be able to be aware of how I'm feeling and, you know, how I'm acting and, you know, all of those sorts of stuff. And then be actually able to overcome it myself without the need for help. So I can kind of relate to it in a way, but like, how did you kind of overcome some of those obstacles to find your purpose?
Yeah, so the day after I tried committing suicide, my dad, like I jumped in the car with my dad and like I didn't speak to him because my phone died. I was there for like a whole day and I was just with the psychologist and stuff like that. That's when I got diagnosed with schizophrenia. But I just sat in the car with my dad. Fuck, it makes me so sad, but like he just sat me down and like we're in the car and like I could just hear his voice like slowly be really sad. And he only cried once in his life. I swear, like, dads just don't cry. Hey?
No, they don't.
It's insane. And the last time he cried was when my best friend died, when he had to tell me. And then, like, he just started, like, you could hear his voice, like, start to tear up. And I just couldn't look at him. I was just looking at the floor. I was like, fuck, like, I've really fucked up here. So then I thought, from that moment, I started filming, like, how I felt. And then I was like, fuck, I can, like, really inspire and, like, change people's lives here. And then,
Have you had other people come to you and say, like, I'm thinking of taking my life? Like, can you help me? Like, because that's a big burden for you to now take because you've sent that out into the world. People will probably come to you now and be like, you know,
Yeah, my DMs, like, now, it's because, like, I'm young and, like, I do cool shit and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people message me. And, fuck, like, I get some freaking, like this 49, for example, 49 years old, his wife committed suicide and he showed me, like, photos. And, like, I was just like, fuck, man, like, I don't know how to help you, eh? Which is like, it's cool because like I want to, sorry, that's not cool, but like it's cool, like I want to help people.
Yeah.
But it's just like the other side, it's like, it gets so much.
And then are you an empath? Do you take that in and use it for creativity, or do you just
I do.
sit
like,
with
I'm
it?
just like, fuck, like I just want to keep helping people, but I want to get to the point where like I can just help through videos. Like, I don't need to like physically message them. It's just through a video, they can watch it. And like I do get messages like that, like your videos help me, like I've watched them over and over. I'm going to do like a whole YouTube series of like called Road to a Million, because like I want to hit 1 million either this year or like next year. And I just want to like show the whole process to it, to show like no matter if you're like happy, sad, like I'm fucking fat right now. Like
you're
no,
not.
but like I've put on like I've never been so heavy in my life. Like, I feel bad. But like I'm going to do like body transformation. Like how to make the money, clothing brand, university, stuff like that.
All of it at 19. That's insane.
And do you feel like getting your diagnosis of schizophrenia, do you feel like it was like a moment where you're like, okay, I get it now? Like,
yeah, it sort of shocked me because like I was always wondering while I was like talking to my best friend, I always thought he was like there, and my mum as well. So it's like I always thought they were in the room, but they just weren't.
Yeah, right.
And I thought like I was going crazy. And like in school, it's a long story with my stepdad. I had an abusive childhood, and I used to dress up as a clown and like painted a clown on my wall and stuff like that, which is like super weird. Like it sounds fucked up.
Yeah, that's scary. Clowns are scary.
Yeah, it's my biggest fear.
100%.
But like in high school, I struggled a lot because if I had to do a speech or if I had to like answer a question, like all the boys would like turn into clowns, which sounds really weird.
Like in your head?
Yeah, in my head.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're not, but like in my head, like they would like have clown laughs and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I would like full freak out because obviously I don't like clowns.
Yeah.
So I just panic and I'd be like, fuck. Like
The
recently
mind.
I had a full panic attack like 2 days ago.
Wow. Was that the video you had of you shaking? Your hand was shaking?
Yeah.
So what do you do for yourself in that instance?
I don't know. I'm trying
Is
to
it all the Red Bull you drink? Is that all the... And then you had 2 cans of Red Bull.
Maybe you guys can help me out.
Well, yeah.
That might be a big factor. I don't sleep. I struggle to sleep.
Yeah, I've listened to one of your podcasts, and you said you hardly sleep.
Yeah, like last night I went to bed at like freaking 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
and woke up today. I feel good, but like, I don't know. I'm just like always like.
So you're not getting help for your mental health? You're not seeing anyone? You're just, you're trying to, why not?
I don't know, just.
Yeah.
Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Okay. And after you got admitted for your suicide attempt, did they keep you there for a while, or did they release you the next?
Because I was 18, they offered me to like, I don't know what's the word, offered, whatever, to go to the mental health institution. But I sort of like shit myself because I was like, fuck, like I was already going to die, but like being in that is like you're probably like alive but dead. So I was like, fuck, if I'm going to be alive, like I'd rather just like try to stay in the real world.
Yeah.
And what was it that like clicked in your mind that's like, I've like, this is not my life. Like, this is not, this is not the end game. Like,
yeah, I was just listening to my dad like that. Like I was literally in the hospital bed, like with like old people, like literally dying around me. And I was just sitting there and the psychologist was next to me, just watching me the whole time. I was like, fuck, I can't do this shit for like any longer. Hey, like I'm so young. And like I started like my first attempt was like when I was like 12 years old. I know it's like super young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just was in the hospital bed for so long and I was just thinking about my whole life. And then I was thinking of ways like how I can like just change. And then I thought the only way I can like really change my life is if I inspire others. Cause like
there's a purpose.
Yeah, there's a purpose there. And like just to make my dad like happy and give him the life back that he gave me.
Yeah.
Cause like, fuck, that guy literally sacrificed everything.
Do you feel like he's watching over you constantly now, or?
My dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. Like right now you can just tell he's like not in a good space.
Yeah.
Just like with work and stuff, he hasn't worked for a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So like at home, it's like, it's good. We got a new house. It's like nice, modern. Like we lived in a shithole our whole life. And like things are like slowly progressing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I feel so bad for him, mate. Like that's my motivation, I guess. Just my dad.
Keep working hard.
And I think it's important to have, a motivation for everything that we do. So, I mean, what were the next steps for you after you kind of flicked that switch to, be where you are now?
Yeah. So the first thing I did was try to figure a way how I could quit my full-time job. They helped me out a lot through like getting a psychologist and stuff like that, but psychologists don't help me. But yeah, the first step was to quit my full-time job. Then after that, like I just messaged everyone to like film for them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ended up making 15K my first month
Wow.
quitting. So I was like, fuck, like obviously through that you get a lot of confidence, you build a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I can like really make money if I like understand money. So then after that month, I started posting more content on my social media, ended up getting a video that got 5 million views, the news video.
Yeah.
And a guy named Luke Belmar hit me up and he's just like, yo, bro, like I want you to travel, film for me. We'll travel Europe. We'll go to America, stuff like that. I'll pay you a wage weekly. I was like, fuck, this is like perfect.
How old were you?
I was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah.
It was in August.
Mm-hmm. Still recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like my life's only changed in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
I would not be jumping on this podcast. Like I was a shy kid.
So was that before you? I was after you saw
After.
Yep.
So I tried committing like around January.
Okay.
And then around June, I quit my full-time job because I just didn't have the balls to quit. And I feel like that's someone's biggest fear is trying to like actually talk to your boss about like a pay rise or quitting their job. But I feel like after you take those steps, it's like you build so much confidence because you're like talking to the big boss. And if you can like confront that, then I feel like your just confidence builds from that.
Yeah.
But
then August.
August.
You got contacted,
Yeah, I got contacted by this guy. We went to Europe. I was getting like 500 USD. It was shit. Like I was working 24/7.
Yeah.
Filming like for hours, couldn't sleep. And it was like every 2 days we'd get a new flight to a different country. Mad experience though. Like that guy literally changed my life.
That's probably what set you up for no sleep after that.
Well, but like before that, I didn't sleep at my old job. So
Wow.
yeah, I've just been used to like not sleeping. I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy like just changed my whole perspective on life.
Yeah.
Like everything he was telling me, it's just the way I talk now, the way I think of things, question things. Like the main thing he taught me was always ask why. Like why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you do this? Why do you eat that? Another thing he taught me is like if you can't control your mind, what do you control?
Yeah.
So
Pretty heavy stuff. Are you still in contact with him now? Is he still helping you?
Oh
out?
no, he doesn't like me now.
Oh, okay.
Because he asked me to stay with him for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like he offered me veneers, Rolex, stuff like that. But I was like, fuck, I'd rather just
Wow.
do it myself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because you would have obviously had to work for him. Right?
Yeah, I worked
if he
for
was
him.
giving you all that stuff.
And that's how I met Andrew Tate through him.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
So that's how I met Andrew Tate. It was through Luke Belmar. And we stayed at his house for 4 days. And I feel obviously that's why Luke's probably pissed because like he feels like I've used him.
Yeah.
Which I sort of did in a way.
Yeah.
Like obviously like I'm young, like I didn't want to work for anyone, but I just wanted to like.
Of course, you didn't want to limit your possibilities up
No way.
early.
But free travel. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah. And to meet like Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Yeah.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
He's actually such a good guy.
Yeah.
Like I feel so bad for him. Like who knows what he's actually done? Like you never know what a person's done.
Yeah.
But like from what my experience, like he was such a good guy. Like,
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like super funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like motivational as.
Yeah.
And just the way he spoke about money like really changed my perspective.
Yeah.
In what way?
Just like think of life as a video game. Like just like GTA, right? It's like it's just like you got to do missions to make money, to like level up your character. You need to like listen to podcasts, read books, stuff like that. So if you put your life in like a video game perspective, then it like I don't know, it's changed me, I guess.
And do you feel like for people that want to get out of the 9 to 5, they have to change their relationship with money?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say the word expensive. Like you said before, they invest. Like, what was it? If you change...
If you, replace spend with invest.
Yeah. Like that would freaking change like my perspective. Like every time I buy something, I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's like pocket money as a joke. Like I'm not rich or anything, but it's like, oh, pocket money.
Yeah.
And it's like an investment. So...
And I think it's so much harder to actually do than say. You know what I mean? Like I think, for you probably like getting yourself out of that 9 to 5 would have been, invigorating. Like you would have seen so many possibilities. But for some, not having that stability would be quite hard in a way.
Yeah, it is. Because like I sort of knew I could make money through videography, especially with the connections I grew from that job. But yeah, I feel like if you want to get out of your 9 to 5, you have to plan it before. So every day you go to work, you have to plan like why you want to leave, how you're going to do it, and just like attack it when you eventually do quit. Because a lot of people quit with like no thought.
Yeah.
They just do it because like they're like, fuck this. but then they're fucked.
It's the all or nothing mentality, and I think that's what we're going to talk about when.
That's good though.
we sit
Like
down.
that's such a good mentality, but
Yeah.
you have to be smart about it. Like, I feel like you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Like, I
Like, do you
waited-
kind of like need to, were you like, I need to hit like consistent 10K months before I can quit or something like that? Or
my start goal was to at least hit 800 a week, which is what my wage was.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I was like, if I can make 800 a week, that's like perfect. And I
Mhm.
eventually had a guy that paid me 700 for 2 hours every Friday.
Wow.
So I was like, fuck, that's perfect.
Oh my goodness.
That's like nothing now.
Yeah,
though. It's
yeah.
so crazy. But,
Yeah. I know, because 800 is like minimum wage now, isn't it? What's the minimum
Yeah,
wage?
800 is minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, I got that weekly. So I was like, this is perfect. So that was my main goal.
Mhm.
My main goal was just to at least hit 800 weekly. But my main focus was just social media and
Yeah.
getting clients.
and how did you learn how to scale your business to that level? Like, is it something you had to teach yourself, or were you getting mentoring?
So my old boss was named Isaac John.
Mhm.
I feel like he was like my mentor at the time. Even though he was my boss, he was like my mentor. He just told me like, you need to like get your name out there.
Is he the guy that owns
YKTR, yeah.
YKTR, yeah.
So he basically just told me like, you need to network, and build good relationships.
Mhm.
Luke Belmar taught me a lot about like your network is your net worth, and his relationships that now I've got because I met him.
Mhm.
Like I know millionaires, billionaires all around the world now,
Yeah.
which is cool because like they just randomly FaceTime you and just you realize they're just normal people.
Wow.
Like money doesn't like it changes some people, but
Yeah.
they're just people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, like networking is like the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just networking, just getting your name out there. Like if you go to a club, at least try to talk to 10 different people, message 10 different people a day. Just like I still do that now. Like my DMs are just full because I'm like, I just want to like meet new people. I thought it'd be cool to meet you guys because like firstly I've never seen like girls, like not many girls do podcasts.
Mhm.
So it's like it'll be cool to jump on a girls, get a different perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, like now I know you guys, so it's
Yeah.
like
Cool.
it's so
There's
easy
your
to network.
network.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
it's just easy to network. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Does your mental health play a little bit on that as well? Like, are there days where you cannot be bothered to even like, do that or?
Yeah, like most of the time I'm pretty like by
Mhm.
myself. Like when I'm home just working,
Mhm.
editing and stuff like that, I don't talk to anyone.
Mhm.
I just leave my phone on do not disturb.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's up and down.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes as well, like mental health can like play on us a little bit, and we can have a little bit of anxiety around reaching out to others and actually putting ourselves out there. Is that something you ever experienced?
Yeah, I did. I sort of changed my perspective on that when I quit my full-time job. I don't know where I got confidence from. Honestly, just grew confidence out of nowhere.
It was
And I was
almost
like-
kind of like, if I'm not successful at this, like this is it. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like
I feel
that?
like if you
I feel like this is
yeah, like when you quit, you just like you have to. It's everything's on you.
Yeah.
Like if you fuck up, it's on you. If you fail, it's like your fault. If you succeed, it's like your fault.
And I
So-
almost think that's such a good driver. Like it's such a
it's
good
mad.
motivator because like nobody wants to fail, right? So like that's kind of a good motivator, I think, in a way.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had a fear of failure, which is aticophobia comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like used to be afraid to like go out and do different things because it was just out of my comfort zone. Like I never used to go out clubbing. I still don't now, but like I never went to parties because I was so embarrassed like of my clothes because I couldn't have like cool clothes. I just found it hard to talk to girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
And your relationships, I guess, like how are they, like, do you have a partner now? Have you had?
no, I had a girlful when I was 16. But,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
it's
You just
teenage
don't have
love.
time now.
Yeah, I know. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like it would be so cool just to like grow with someone.
Yeah.
And like having a girl like helps me a lot
Mhm.
because like I've never had a mum obviously. So
Yeah.
like having a girl just to cuddle. Like, I'm a Cancer too. Like,
Okay, he's accepting application. And at school, like, were you bullied at all at school? Like, and then also I want to touch on your football career. Like, how
Yeah.
did you get into that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I started football when I was 7 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Because my dad grew up playing footy,
Yeah.
watching footy. So I was like, just went through that.
Natural?
Obviously. Yeah, just
Mhm.
natural. And yeah, it was just like my big goal. Like it's all I ever wanted to do.
Yep.
So like my main focus was just footy. But yeah, in high school, when I started like cutting my wrists and stuff,
Mhm.
and I used to have like mad anxiety, so I used to like scratch my arms like this, and I'd have blood marks all on my arm. So the boys just like tease, just because it's like a footy community.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys
You
like,
have to be like tough. and-
yeah, it's more like the tough
masculine.
like banter and shit
Yeah.
like that. So they like target any like They don't give a fuck like
Yeah.
what it is. They target like
If you're if you're
They target
different
your
or weak.
insecurities and stuff like that.
But they take it as a piss joke, right? They
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
a joke,
funny.
like, yeah, they
but
think it's
deep
funny.
down they don't know you're actually trying to like
Yeah.
hurt yourself.
Well, at the time when I was 16, like I remember I broke up with my girlfriend. I was going like through proper like depression.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, and then I had like my first ever heartbreak. So I
Yeah.
was like, fuck, like I felt so sick. And I remember like I cut my wrist and one of the boys come up to me because we're at the swimming carnival. He's like, oh, Caleb, there's a rope on the tree over there. Why don't you go kill yourself? And like, fuck, that day. It's funny because this kid like always said dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And I saw him the other day and he's like, oh, fuck, you are being successful now? I'm like,
Who are
hey, man.
you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it was weird because like in high school, like this group of guys egged my car and shit, and I see them at the club now. They're like, "Oh, bro, like,
Oh wow.
it's so funny how like
Oh,
say it. They're like,
dear.
"Oh, bro, like, how you been?" Shit like that.
There's always those people.
Yeah,
They're your motivators. They're your biggest motivators.
Honestly, I don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just cool to just like I love revenge. Hey,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's like a bittersweet thing. Like you fucked my life, but then at the same time, it's like when I see the guy that called me fat in school, and I see him now, and I'm like, oh my god, like you're just yeah.